Chair. Hopefully that happens. For either of you, I suppose, I'm just kind of thinking through a logic of this if I'm a candidate, and I'm looking at Arkansas. And Arkansas has Hillary Clinton running in the state, and Arkansas has Mike Huckabee running in the state. Not a foregone conclusion, but would it not be reasonable for a candidate to decide? Arkansas has 6 electoral votes. They've got to kind of homebodies running there. Why am I going to vote for Arkansas? If I'm not one of those 2 people, aren't they? What are we going to do? How would I assume people are going to flock to Arkansas if we're going to be important?
I was going to give a candidate, I'm sorry, regardless of who was running for the state.
I asked you to talk to me about the logic of it. I mean, tell me why. That's
It's
why
like-
you would do that.
Mr. Churchill said, about campaigning and what months. Most of us as candidates announced in the fall. I know I ran 3 times. I announced in the fall, I ran all winter. Most of us campaign all winter. If you're running for office, most of us campaign a year. I know I did, and most of the people I know did. We ran all winter. We went to events all winter long. So that, I don't think that's a factor.
Well,
I think the weather's factor. Sometimes we have some pretty nice weather in March, such as Sheffield.
okay,
If
now.
you knew you might have to say that the president's going to be, I think that might be voted enough.
May I throw you back to my question?
Because
Y'all get her right now. Not
But
we don't look enough alike.
I will grant you that, of course, there are parts of us who are not thinking all whatever, but it's the voting that is obviously to go well, when it's hard enough to get people when it's decent weather. I think it really does stand to reason, not that on the question. But my question was about the assumption that that folks are going to play in Arkansas, and I want to be important. It's just that I have a dose of reality here on the thing that I'm trying to figure out. I just could be wrong. I stand outside and I look and I see Clinton and Huckabee. I just don't understand why I would spend my money playing with in
would
Arkansas.
you say that most of these candidates are
Yeah, I would
very
say,
competitive?
which is I think one of the reasons they might not spend their time and money.
Would you
on
think,
states
would you
like that.
think they would want to knock off one of the favorites in our home state?
Yes, however, I'm talking just about the likelihood of that. I mean, what I'm saying is if you're a candidate and you've got these 2 people and you need to campaign in these other large states that you mentioned that might be a part of the SEC, like Alabama, Georgia, Texas, might you not make the judgment because they can't be everywhere and do everything that we've got Huckabee, we've got Clinton, so maybe you have to make some choices. So I wanted to go being realistic that we think that that's going to be a big play for us just because we are part of that state SEC. I mean, I'm not, it's a serious question, it's a serious thought. Is that flawed logic or not?
No, ma'am, and I don't disagree with your logic at all, but I would like to say, I'm less concerned about who comes to the campaign. Yes, Senator Johnson, all of them do, and all of them bring a lot of money to this great state. What I'm concerned about is 21% voter turnout on May 25th, because we already know who the candidates for president on both sides are. I think we have a legitimate, logical opportunity on March 1 to encourage more Arkansans to turn to the polls and vote for both presidential and party preferential primaries, because at that point, there is not, most likely, someone who's going to be a nominee for either party. And that's what I'd like to see happen. We've all, everybody around this table, is involved in politics at the grassroots level. And the way that you get your business done is by turning out the vote. I think that's what we get out of the Senator Elliott. Yeah, I do want more people coming, but I want more people turning out the polls. That's what we're going to do. And this is how we can go about it. What we have is working to do that.
Well, when we did this in 2008, I don't believe we had that result. Is that just because, well, we didn't have that result, so
We had a better turnout, but no, we didn't have a better turnout. We haven't had a great turnout here.
I mean, in 2008, we moved the presidential primary, if I remember that correctly.
Yes, ma'am.
And so, and it did really substantially
If I was sitting here telling you that we need to move only to presidential primaries as we did during the session, I would not be talking to you about increasing turnout in a single primary. I believe we have an option to get people that will turn out and vote because their candidate still is viable at that point. People that will only vote presidential politics. People that will vote the 21, 22, 25% that turn out or don't turn out anyway. We will get more people to turn out and vote. And if they turn out and vote, we'll have to turn out.
Okay, and my last question, just to finish up here. When we actually passed this committee, presidential, primary, in the session. What happened to that? That we did, I mean, I know it's not that we can go any further than that.
We've been at a time that the bills not voted down, and that's not cool.
Why?
There were some problems getting through state agency, we said some problems with the